Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today for Fill Your Plate with Colorful Fruits and Vegetables. My name is Heidi McIndoe. I am a registered dietitian, and I love helping people eat more fruits and vegetables. So hopefully I can give you some ideas and delicious and tasty ways to get more nutrients into your day. Just so we know, obviously everybody's muted, but I do have the chat open. I can see it. So at any point, I can certainly have time at the end for questions, but if at any point you have something to say or ask, please don't feel free to wait until the end. You can do it at any time. All right. All right, so what we're going to talk about today, just a brief little synopsis, the nutritional benefits of fruits and vegetables. Why is it so important that we include them in our day? Some ways to prepare or cook fruits and vegetables, and then some tips for fitting them into your day. All right, so first of all, the nutritional benefits. And there are many, and I am probably not going to be covering all of them. I'm just going to try and get the top few. So certainly, fruits and vegetables are as are most plant foods in our diet, are great sources of fiber. Fiber is beneficial for a number of reasons. Certainly, it helps our digestive health. It helps our digestive tract run more smoothly. Without problems, makes everything more comfortable, helps prevent bloating, constipation, and diarrhea, and all those, fun things that we don't want to have. And also, because of the way fiber gets waste out of our digestive tract, it can also help reduce our risk of colon cancer. Fiber is also beneficial to cardiovascular health. When it comes to cardiovascular health, one of the things we look at, I should say, are our blood cholesterol levels, our blood fat levels. And one of those types of cholesterol that doctors always measure is called LDL. We can call it the lousy cholesterol or the loser cholesterol. I don't know what you want to call it. It is the one that when it's high, it increases our risk of heart disease because it's very sticky and thick and clogs up our arteries, leading us to have strokes and heart attacks. The other kind that they often measure is called HDL. I'll call that our healthy cholesterol. This is the one that can be beneficial, that fiber can benefit. Well, fiber can benefit both, I should say. So fiber also helps, HDL helps get the bad cholesterol, the unhealthy cholesterol out of your digestive tract, your cardiovascular system, and fiber can do the same thing. And finally, weight management. The reason fiber is so beneficial to weight management is because fiber keeps you feeling fuller longer. When you eat a very low fiber diet, a very sort of simple carbohydrate diet, and I want to preface this by saying I do not think that white bread and white flour and white rice and white pasta are evil things that should never be included in our diet, but they are not the healthiest options. In my house, we like white pasta, that's what we eat, but we get our fiber-rich carbs from other sources, crackers, whole grain cereals, things like that. So just right from the get-go, I am not one of those people that are like, it's an all or nothing. I believe in, let's fit as many types of food as we can in, including some of those treats or maybe things that are less than healthy. We just want to get the nutrient-dense ones in more often. So that being said, if your diet does happen to be full of all of those more processed white carbohydrates, there's no fiber in them. One of the things they do when they process brown rice into white rice or whole wheat flour into white flour, all-purpose flour, is that they remove the fiber. And so when you don't have fiber, food gets digested and metabolized and absorbed very quickly, and it goes from the time it enters your body till the time it leaves your body, or at least leaves your stomach area where you feel satiated, very quickly. So you find yourself constantly hungry. And if you're trying to manage your weight, whether you are trying to, if you're trying to gain weight, that may be a good thing. But if you're trying to lose weight or maintain a healthy weight, constantly being hungry makes that a challenge. So when you have more fiber in your day, you feel fuller longer, and you can go longer stretches of time without feeling like you need to eat something. And that just makes weight management that much easier. More nutritional benefits, vitamins and minerals, fruits and vegetables. I mean, there are foods in every food group, I should say, that are rich in vitamins and minerals. However, one of the reasons foods are paired in certain food groups is because of the nutritional benefits they offer. So when it comes to fruits and vegetables, there are certain vitamins and minerals that they tend to contain in higher quantities than other food groups do. And in some cases, in most cases, much higher quantities. Vitamins like A and K and C aren't very high in most other foods. So we want to make sure that we are getting as many fruits and vegetables as we can to make sure we get these vitamin and mineral needs met. And these vitamins and minerals do an array of things. They boost our immune system. They help with blood clotting. They help with eye health, muscle management in terms of keeping your muscles not so much strong. They're not something like that, but they help. Certain nutrients just can help prevent, muscle cramps, things like that. So we definitely want to get our fruits and vegetables for the vitamins and minerals. And finally, one last thing, that not just fruits and vegetables, all plant-based foods contain phytonutrients. So phyto is the Greek word for plant, so phytonutrients are plant nutrients. So like I said, found in all plants that we eat. But obviously today we're focused on the fruits and veggies. And what these are vitamins, and you'll see, I mean, some of these lists do list, just the source I got this, some of these do list some vitamins and minerals on that, but I just really loved this picture and its listing of the phytonutrients, so that's why I included this. Phytonutrients are nutrients, there's, similar to vitamins and minerals, but they sort of have health benefits beyond what vitamins and minerals offer for us. And they tend to be consumed in even smaller quantities than vitamins and minerals to get those benefits. And the fun thing I think it's fun about phytonutrients is that they're sort of color coded. So the nutrients, the substances that make strawberries red contain very powerful phytonutrients that have very specific health benefits, but they're very different from the substances that make broccoli green, which provide other health benefits. So we want to make sure, it's great if you love red peppers and strawberries and you eat them all the time, that's fantastic. But if you're eating them to the exclusion of white cauliflower, and in this case, white counts as a color, green broccoli, blue blueberries, yellow squash. If you're eating any color to the exclusion of the others, or certainly just with greater quantity than the others, then you're really missing out on an array of nutrients from those other colorful foods. So another way fruits and veggies, are helpful. So that is why we want it, just some of the reasons why we want to make sure we are including fruits and vegetables in our day on a regular basis. So now let's talk about how are we going to include them. So the thing with fruits and vegetables is, first of all, I am not strictly talking about fresh produce. This applies to fresh, canned, frozen, dried. It doesn't matter. They all contain the same nutritional properties. Where you want to be careful is obviously fresh, that's as fresh as you can get. They harvest it and you prepare it and you eat it, and there you go. When it comes to frozen, frozen and canned specifically are processed, which either means canned or frozen. Processing sort of has a bad rap these days. Everybody thinks processing is horrible. Processing just means an action that a manufacturer took to a food. So anything you eat that is not the way it grew out of the ground or, came from an animal is processed. So bread is processed. Even if it's whole wheat bread, it's processed because it didn't grow that way. So when we talk about fruits and vegetables, that processing, either the freezing or the canning, is done, almost immediately, or as close to possible to harvesting as close as possible to harvest time. So what that means is, instead of this item, let's see, this time of year, instead of this piece of broccoli being picked somewhere and being sent in a truck across country for maybe several days, being put in a warehouse, and then being dropped off at your grocery store, where maybe it's like a week or so after it's been picked. When we're talking about frozen broccoli, it was picked and they just brought it right to the freezer, basically. The whole processing freezer. And what that does is that maintains that nutritional quality. It is at its nutritional peak, the closest to harvest as you can get it, assuming that we're harvesting when they are at their nutritional peak. So there's no deterioration or loss of nutritional quality like there would be in something that has been in a refrigerated warehouse, then a truck for several days, and then another warehouse. I am not at all saying fresh fruits and vegetables are unhealthy. They are incredibly healthy. I am just trying to prove a point make a point that those that are frozen and canned are equally healthy when it comes to nutrient density, if not maybe a little bit more, because of that whole, lag time between eating it. Where you want to be careful with fruits and vegetables, or I should say the canned and the frozen, is when they add to it. So I am not saying that the strawberry slices in the sugar syrup are just as nutrient dense as the fresh strawberries, nor is the broccoli in the cheese sauce or the highly salted canned corn. So what we want to do when we're looking at frozen and canned produce is make sure we're getting products with as little to no added ingredients as possible. So looking for no salt added, looking for those, or reduced sodium, or looking for those that don't have the extra sauces and syrups. But I'm telling you, a bag of frozen broccoli, cauliflower, whatever it might be, there is nothing like, you didn't get to the store and you want a veggie, pull out a bag, toss it either in the microwave to steam or roast it. And it's a super convenient, if you don't have a lot of time to be prepping, meaning cutting and washing, getting the frozen or canned produce can be a big time saver and a great way to include fruits and veggies in your day if you don't have that time to prep. Also, frozen and canned, very, very budget friendly. I can get a bag of frozen cauliflower for maybe 99 cents. I can get a head of cauliflower for $4.99. So that could be a factor as well. All right, so that's my spiel with frozen and canned. When it comes to dried fruit, we don't usually see dried vegetables as much, but when it comes to dried fruit, you just want to make sure, again, you're getting some where they don't add sugar. Craisins are tough because they're extremely tart. So they do tend to add, dried cranberries, they do tend to add a little bit of sugar. You can get ones without added sugar sometimes. Those do tend to have a little bit of added sugar in them. But other than that, if we're looking for raisins, dried blueberries, dried cherries, just make sure they're not adding sugar. They don't need to add sugar to those. You will find, though, if you compare the nutrient profile of, say, raisins to grapes, it's going to, per serving, if we're comparing equal amounts, it's going to have a lot more sugar. It's not going to have added sugar. It's going to have the fresh natural sugar, which is different. but it's going to have a more concentrated source of sugar because we're dehydrating it. So right now I'm sitting here with a bowl of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 grapes. It's just a little bowl. But if I were to have the same quantity of raisins in here, I could easily probably get like 20, 25 or more raisins. So I'm still getting the same amount of nutrients. It's just in a much more concentrated source. So they're going to be higher. I'm going to be getting higher amounts of everything. Because if I took, again, say I had 25 raisins, if I ate 25 grapes, I would be getting more natural sugar than I would be in the 25, or in the what did I say, I had 5 grapes. So we just want to be careful serving sizes when it comes to dried is all I'm saying. All right, so how are we going to cook veggies? So one of the things I find people always say, I talk to a lot of people about eating vegetables, and they don't like vegetables. They have a hard time fitting in vegetables. And I try and ask people, well, how do you cook them? Or, let's try different ways to cooking them. Sometimes we think we don't like a vegetable. My kids will eat roasted broccoli, but they are not fans of steamed broccoli, and definitely not fans of raw broccoli. I'm not a fan of raw broccoli. But some people love raw vegetables. And so it's really important when thinking of how to increase your fruit and vegetable intake to sort of open yourself up to looking at other ways of getting those fruits and vegetables in. It doesn't just have to be, oh my gosh, I remember in college, my college boyfriend's mother would constantly make broccoli, but she would throw it, this beautiful green head of broccoli, she would throw it in a pot with boiling water, and by the time we sat down to dinner, it looked like military fatigues. And you know what I mean? That sort of, it's not green anymore, it's sort of pushing that olive drabby, almost light brown color. Now remember earlier, I said colors go with nutrients. What makes green broccoli green is a nutrient. So if our broccoli is now brown, that green nutrient is gone. So we want to make sure when we are preparing vegetables, not only do we try different ways to prepare them that we might like better, but that we prepare them in a healthy way. I sort of went off on a tangent there. So my point was try different ways, roasting, grilling, sauteing. There's so many different ways to cook them. If you've never pressure cooked veggies, especially things like potatoes and carrots that take a long time to cook, you got to give it a try. They cook super fast, perfect. Corn on the cob, also great in the pressure cooker. But if you are, so you'll see, I don't even have boiling on here just because the vitamins that are in, or some of the vitamins that are in these fruits and vegetables are what we call water-soluble vitamins. And if we boil the foods in water, the vitamins leach out into the water. So now instead of eating those vitamins, we're dumping them down the drain. So you just want to make sure that you don't overcook. I always recommend steaming. I don't care if, I don't like my vegetables al dente. I don't like them crunchy. I want them soft, but they need to have color, which is why the steaming is great. The pressure cooking is great. You can cook the heck out of them. Roasting, you can do the same thing until they are fall apart soft. But as long as you're cooking them the right way, they're maintaining that color, hence they're maintaining their nutritional makeup. So that's something to keep in mind. So again, just think of different, if you don't think you're a veggie fan, or if you're bored of what you're doing, think of different ways you can cook them. For me, in our house, we just roast a lot of vegetables, but I try and mix and match. If I'm roasting potatoes or broccoli, sometimes I'll throw onions and peppers in there just to get some. When I roast green beans, onions, peppers, and green beans, great roasted together. So just think outside your normal box maybe. When it comes to fruit, so obviously we can eat fruit whole, we can slice it, we can chop it and mix it into things or eat it as is. Smoothies and smoothie bowls are fantastic ways to get fruits. Also good ways to get some veggies, kale, baby spinach, things like that. But my son is so funny. He's a picky eater when it comes to fruits and veggies, and he's just does not, no matter how many times I tell him we need to get fruits and veggies, you need to eat fruits and veggies. Finally, he asked me, well, can't I just put it all in a blender and get all my fruits in one serving? I'm like, yes, you can. It's called a smoothie. And he's like, yeah, but I don't like smoothies. So smoothies are great ways to get fruits and veggies. I mean, my base smoothie recipe contains a banana and at least a half a cup of some sort of berry and sometimes spinach. There's 3 servings of fruits and veggies just in that drink. And the difference between smoothies and juices, very important. So a juice, when it comes to juicing, say you squeeze an orange and you get the juice out, look at that orange. All that pulp that you're throwing away, that's the fiber. Remember, fiber is one of the nutrients we want to include, or one of the reasons we want to include fruits and veggies in our day. We want to get that fiber. If you're throwing that pulp out, you're missing out on the fiber. If, however, in a smoothie, you take an orange, not with the peel, obviously, but it's just the orange slices, throw them in there all, and I've never done this. I don't know why I used orange as an example. I've never put an orange in a smoothie. But the idea is just all the parts of the fruit get put into the smoothie. Nothing gets wasted. Nothing gets dumped out. So in a juice, you're just getting the liquid without the fiber. In the smoothie, you're getting the whole of the fruit. It just happens to be pureed. So you're still getting that fiber. Grilling also, I know grilling season is starting to come to an end, but we probably got another month or so of good weather in, hopefully more, where we can get some grilling in. I love grilled pineapple, grilled stone fruit. I know a lot of people like grilled watermelon. I'm not a fan, but it's just, you know, after dinner, the grill's hot anyways. Turn it down a little bit, maybe brush it with a little bit of like a neutral oil, like a canola oil, put it on that grill just until it gets some char marks, and the flavor is just amazing. All right, so what counts as a serving? So we know we want to get fruits and vegetables, and how many servings do we need every day? People always are shocked when I tell them you need 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. I know for a lot of people that sounds extremely overwhelming, but the thing with fruits and veggies, and the thing with healthy eating in general, is as long as you plan, you can make it happen. If you just wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to eat 5 to 9 servings of fruits and veggies today, it's probably not going to happen. But if you go to the grocery store with that in mind and buy enough fruits and veggies, and if you get up in the morning and, you know, pack a lunch including fruits and veggies, and plan dinners including fruits and veggies, and breakfast and snacks, and bring fruits and veggies to snack on at work, then you're probably going to meet your goal, or at least you're going to get closer to it than just waking up and, you know, luck of the draw. Maybe, you know, maybe I'll see some fruit and veggies today, maybe I won't. But like I said, it's planning is the point. So, you know, certainly include with breakfast. You know, it can be fruits and, well, and I'm going to talk more about, you know what, I'll talk more about that in a minute. So what is a serving? So if we're talking cut up fruit, cut up apples, cut up melon, berries, grapes, things like that, it's a half a cup is considered 1 serving. Doesn't mean you can't have more than a half a cup. If you have a whole cup, there, you got 2 servings right there. A half a cup of 100% fruit juice or vegetable juice is considered a serving. However, with the juice, again, remember, we're not getting the fiber. We're getting the nutrients, the other nutrients, but we're not getting the fiber. So if you're going to count juice as part of your fruit and veggie intake, you really want to limit to no more than 1 half cup serving a day. So one of those 5 to 9 servings, fine if it's 100% juice. The rest should be whole fruit or veggies and smoothies. A medium piece of fruit, whether that is a pear, an orange, an apple, a banana, a cup of raw veggies. So think, you know, your salad greens, things like that, or a half a cup of cooked vegetables, whether it's carrots, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, whatever it might be. So, and again, say dinner, you have an entire cup of vegetables. That's great. There's 2 servings. So it's not saying you can only have 1 serving at a time. This just shows you what counts as a serving. Oh, I got to go quick. All right. And like I said, if you guys have any questions, you can pop them in at any time. So where can we fit fruits and veggies in? So at breakfast time, like I said, we need to plan for it. At breakfast time, berries are delicious with yogurt. Dried fruit or fresh fruit, fresh berries, sliced bananas, sliced up apples, delicious on cereal, delicious on oatmeal. Think if you're making eggs, maybe a quick scrambled egg, or if you prep ahead and you make those little egg cups like in a muffin pan that you can heat up in the morning on a quick morning, like say you make them in advance on the weekend, add chopped spinach, chopped peppers, chopped onions, add veggies to the eggs. And then of course smoothies I already mentioned. At snack time, think about yogurt is great with berries. Nuts and dried fruit. I tell this one to people all the time. Again, remember, the dried fruit's very concentrated in terms of nutrients, including calories, as are nuts. So this isn't that kind of snack where you want to bring the whole bottle of nuts and the whole box of dried fruit and just eat out of it. This is something where you want to have a container and you want to weigh out 1 or 2 tablespoons of each, mix them together, and now bring that to work so you have a limited quantity so you don't go overboard, because they're very easy to go overboard on. But the thing with nuts and dried fruit, I mean, the possibilities are endless. I like peanuts and raisins. I think they go well together, but you can do pistachios and dried cherries. You can do almonds and cranberries. You can do walnuts and blueberries. So there's so many different mixes. Fruit and some vegetables go great with nut butters. Think apple slices, carrot sticks, celery sticks, pear wedges. So there's lots of things you can do. And hummus, great vehicle for getting pepper sticks in, or baby carrots, or raw cauliflower, raw broccoli, again, if you like to eat that. Then there's also chocolate hummus. Not as nutritionally dense as traditional hummus, but it is yummy, and it's great to dip say strawberries in, or chocolate, or apples in. So it's, again, a vehicle to get that fruit in. At lunchtime, certainly salads are a great way to get veggies, as long as our salad is primarily vegetables and lean protein, and just, we don't want, like a handful of lettuce and then the rest of the bowl is filled with bacon bits and croutons and everything else. We want to get a good base of greens. Think beets, tomatoes, cucumber, peppers, so many things you can put in there, but then get some lean protein to balance that out. Again, a lot of salad veggies tend to be very water heavy, which means they're not as fiber rich as other ones. So they could leave you feeling hungry after. So you just want to get some protein, whether it is meat, tuna, eggs, beans, anything. Edamame. Add vegetables to your sandwich. Instead of just a turkey and cheese sandwich, put a sliced pepper ring, put some lettuce, or put some spinach, put some a thick slice of tomato. Really make that sandwich a hearty sandwich and get those veggies in there. And then certainly vegetables and fruits make great side dishes, whether it's baby carrots, an apple, something like that, to round out your lunch. And at dinner time, certainly we can have a little side salad before the meal. We can have our vegetables as sides. My kids love applesauce with their dinner, so they get a fruit there along with, so like last night, I think my son I did not make salad last night. I tried to, but I did not last night. He got 3 servings of vegetables and fruit at dinner because he had a good chunk of broccoli, a lot of broccoli, and the applesauce. So we all did, actually. We all had the same meal. So there was my 3 servings at dinner. So if I'm looking at 5 to 9 over the course of the day, if I'm getting 3 at dinner, I only need 2 to 6 over the rest of the day. And I always have it with breakfast. I always have it with lunch. So whatever snacks, maybe I'll get some extra. So again, it's not difficult. It just needs you to plan. So just some tips for more ways to get veggies in, microwaving sweet potatoes, putting a little bit of maple syrup and maybe some nuts on them. Pureed vegetables of any kind can be added to soups to thicken them. So whether you cook them in the moment or maybe you have leftover cooked ones, puree them up, throw them in some soup, thicken that up, and really adds to the nutrient density. Using leaf lettuce or baby spinach in place of some or all of the iceberg. I particularly am a huge iceberg fan. I like the crunch of it, but for me, it's a vehicle to get all those other veggies in my salad. Layering greens in lasagna. So baby spinach or kale in your lasagna layers. Adding veggies to casseroles, whether it is fresh veggies, steamed veggies, leftover veggies. If you're making a casserole, throw something in there. I know In our house, whenever I make some sort of Mexican meal, like a one pot Mexican, like I have this taco rice skillet thing I make, a can of corn always goes into any Mexican casserole I make. I don't care what it is. If we're making tacos, I will throw corn in with the refried beans. So we are always getting, if I'm making enchiladas or burritos, again, the filling always has corn. So it's a great way to get a veggie. And don't poo-poo corn. A lot of people think corn and peas, they're no good for you. Corn actually has more fiber by far than any other vegetable. Same by weight, so per the same amount. So while, it doesn't have a lot of other nutrients going for it, not a ton, so it's not the one you want to live on every day, because we don't want to have any of them every single day. We want variety. It's a great source of fiber, so definitely include your corn. And whoops, where'd my thing? There we go. Tips for boosting fruits. Dried fruits can be delicious in like a rice pilaf. Think dried raisins, dried like little apricot bits. They can mix with vegetables. Add into cookies. Yeah, cookies are a sweet treat, but doesn't mean you can't have fruit in them. I love putting craisins and raisins on my salad. Dipping fruit with a little chocolate pudding, the chocolate hummus, a dark chocolate syrup is great. I already talked about the smoothies. Adding things to oatmeal is great. I talked about the fruits and nuts. Whether maybe you have cold ready to eat cereal, throw a handful of dried or fresh cut up fruit on that. I love peanut butter toast with either raisins or sliced bananas or thinly sliced apples for a breakfast or a snack. So lots of ways you can get those fruits and veggies in. And that is it. So we just hit our time mark. So I understand if anybody has to go, but I'm here. If anybody has any questions, I will hang out for a minute. If you don't have any questions, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. You are very welcome. Thank you.